Okay, now we're going to start our radio installation. We're going to remove the factory surround from the dash with a plastic pry tool. And you're going to start by gently starting on the ends. And it takes some force. And then just work it all the way around. Now your surround is off. You'll have 4 T25s to remove. We've already cheated a little bit, took 2 off. So we're only going to remove 2 in front of you. Obviously faster with an electric driver, but not too bad at all. This is one of the quicker installs. Put the screws wherever you want. Pull radio out, and then you have the standard connections to remove, which are a bit fun themselves. You have the main connector, which has a little release lever on this side. It's on a cam, so as you pull it, it cams itself out. Put it back inside. The back has the 2 antenna-like ones, a little tab on each one. They can be a little tricky sometimes. Just gotta get that little thing down and then pull. Boom. And then the 2 USB style ones aren't too bad. Little lever off, another one off, and there we go. New radio comes with a new surround with a really cool since 1941 emboss on it. Go ahead and take your wires, either put them in or just pull them through and just snap the new bezel on. It's pretty simple. I like it, perfect. And then we're gonna make our connections in the back of the radio. Okay, we're gonna now hook up some connectors to the back of the radio that will then go to the connectors in the dash, main harness. And don't worry, you can't hook up anything wrong. Each connector is its own size and number of pins. So there's the main one, the middle white connector coming off this large nest of wiring is also for the CAN bus. Can't go wrong there either. This is the integration part of it. You also have for backup camera, which this one does have. Another connector. Again, this is a, what is that, 10 total, so you can't put it in the wrong spot. It only goes in one spot. You have the USB hookup. Again, only goes in one spot. It's not too terribly difficult. Antenna. Pretty self-explanatory. There are 2 optional parts. Cellular antenna, the one that looks like a blade, and then the GPS antenna receiver, more of a box style. If you're going to run those, you're going to have to run them through the dash to the A-pillars and up along the windshield and up top of the windshield. We already have a backup camera in this. We already have a GPS over there, and he doesn't need this because he's going to use his phone anyways for everything. So we're just not going to be hooking these up. One of the last ones to make. This has a bunch of optional stuff that we're not going to be using, but this will plug in, and then basically everything is plugged in the back of the radio. There are USBs that will plug in that you can run through the dash and plug into. There's a power one and a data and power one. He's already got what he needs, so I'm not worried about hooking it up in this. Those do not have. Those look like this. They plug in the back in only one spot, so you don't have to worry about it. We're using one of those USB up to plug into his factory USB. That's what that adapter is. So we would not be able to use this one. This is the 4-pin one. This is only power. The 6-pin one, I believe, will be power and data, which would be right next to it if we hooked it up right there. All right, we're going to start making the connections to the radio. Start making our connections. Of course, it's always backwards the first time. This part can be tricky. You need to start it and start closing the cam on it at the same time. And I don't want to bend any pins, so I'm going to go slow. There we go. Antenna to white. We're not using the yellow. And then we have, where did our, I'm going to plug that back in a second. There we go. USB, we went to gray, only plugs in one way. And then because he has a backup camera, there's a cute little connection you have to make. So The radio does get signal from the main harness for the backup camera, but it has to be fed into the proper port, and that's basically connecting. That's the aftermarket camera going to the factory portion. Pause it. This does look like a mess, but it's not. Yellow to yellow because it's a factory camera. That way it actually puts signal on the screen, and then have fun slipping it all back in. Nice and clean like. Which is always a lot of fun. Pop you in there as well. Now, you push in, and it slides down and locks in pretty hard. It actually doesn't just sit there, it locks in, which is pretty cool. And then we'll turn on and see what we got. Voila! We've got power. This is the larger 12.3 screen. Our other one's a 9-inch. Kind of a different layout, but it's all the same stuff. You have the different menus. And this is the app screen. This is where you find your car settings and all kinds of customization stuff you can do, display, whatnot. Just like any tablet, guys, any phone, you're swiping left and right. Pretty self-explanatory. Your back and home buttons are at the top right here. All the steering wheel controls all still work and everything. Let's put the radio on real quick. You have everything. Steering wheel controls, everything, all works with the CAN bus. There's a bunch of stuff this will do that you'll never use or possibly have fun with, but it's a pretty straightforward installation. Shouldn't take you very long. And then if you need any help or advice or tech tips, please give us a call or an email, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.